Alright, hello everybody. By now you've probably heard about the megawatt deal between Disney and Fox. This deal is so huge we can't even get it all on the board, all the layers, all the tenants. There's so many questions to be asked and answered. Some of those haven't even been answered yet by people who are inside the deal. So many things will be affected even outside the entertainment industry. You might ask, this is a sports and money channel, why are we covering a deal between Disney and Fox? We'll hit that at the end of this video. I want to set the table for it though, because this is such a huge deal with so many layers to it. I want to just kind of give you a feel for how big of a deal it is and show you the parameters of it. First of all, the price tag. $52 billion is moving from Disney over to Fox. And really this is the deal between Bob Iger of Disney and Rupert Murdoch of Fox. $52 billion is switching hands. Now some of you may have heard the number $66 billion. That is including the $13.7 billion of debt that is involved in some of these entities that Disney will be acquiring. They will be taking on that $13.7 billion of debt in addition to the $52 billion price tag. What does that get for Disney? What are they buying? What are they getting out of this? Quite a number of things, and we will not cover everything that they are getting. We're only going to hit what seems to be the biggest highlights of this deal in no particular order. Let's start with what seems to be the biggest one though, and that is the Fox Century 21 movie studios. This is the works, this is the production, this is everything involved in making the movies for Fox. Disney, of course, already has their own movie studio, so you're combining the number one studio in the movie industry, Disney, with the number three studio in the movie industry, Fox. Fox Century 21 will be moving from Fox to Disney. Disney will now own 2 megawatt movie studios, their own, and then Fox Century 21 as well. What does that mean for these 2 movie studios, and how will they combine? That has yet to be seen. We'll find that out in the future. The second thing that Disney is getting for $52 billion is 30% of Hulu. Many of you have watched the streaming on Hulu. They're really growing these days. Now the important thing here with the Hulu facet is that Disney already owns 30% of Hulu stock. So they are now acquiring another 30%, which would give them 60%. They would be in control of Hulu at that point. Instead of just having a money interest, they would now own a controlling interest of a total 60%. The next thing they have is 39% in Sky. Don't have that over here in America, it's overseas. But the catch here with the 39% of Sky, there's a deal in the works for Fox already. Fox has already been trying to acquire the remaining 61% of Sky. So if Fox does that, and ostensibly they will before this deal goes through, then Disney would actually own 100% of Sky Network as well. Also, Star India is moving from Fox to Disney. Megawatt network over in India. They are huge. Also, the FX channel. For those of you who watch the FX channel on cable, this will be moving from Fox over to Disney as well. You might say, well, what does Fox have left? They still have a lot of things going on. They've still got all the Fox broadcasts. Any of the local broadcasts that you see from Fox, Fox will be keeping that. They'll also be keeping Fox Sports Net 1 and Fox Sports Net 2. They'll also be keeping the Fox Business channel as well as the Fox News channel. So really they're going to narrow their focus down on these few things. Still quite a player in the industry, Fox will be, but largely getting out of the streaming and movie industry. Disney will be taking control of almost all of their movie and streaming industries. The last thing here, and before I close, I want to get on the sports thing. I want to say this deal is not locked in yet. Even though it has been agreed upon, Disney and Fox have agreed on it. Bob Iger and Rupert Murdoch have agreed on this. The government might still have a say on this. So if the regulators get involved with this, if the Department of Justice gets on board with this, if the White House decides to take a look at this, certainly if Congress decides to get involved in this, the regulators could move in and ex-nay this deal. Still don't know what's going to happen with that yet. Obviously, the government has let some big deals go. They have stepped in and stopped others due to antitrust issues or other political issues as well. So this deal, although it's been agreed upon by the main constituents, is still not final yet. It's still not been approved. That will take several months to do. So there's a lot of things on the table here, a lot of things that could still move around. But this is just to give you an idea of how big it is. Now, the sports side of this. This last little thing right here, 22 RSNs, and RSN is a regional sports network. Those of you who have Fox on cable have probably got at least one of these regional networks. So in addition to Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, which will remain with Fox, we are being told that 22 of these regional sports networks will be moving from Fox to Disney. Now, if you go on Fox's website, you try to find out what their subsidiaries are, you may find 18 listed, but many of them have been grouped together. So you have Fox Sports Ohio, you have the Yankees Network, the Yes Network, you have Fox Sports South. If you have any of these Fox Sports fill in the blank regional networks in your area, they are moving from Fox over to Disney. You might say, well, why in the world does Disney need that? Keep in mind, Disney also owns ESPN. So ESPN, which has had a really rough year, a really bumpy year, a really struggling year, they've seen a lot of cord cutting on the cable side of things, a lot of people who are deciding, who have never bought cable, who are deciding to not buy cable. Disney, on the ESPN sports side of things, is actually doubling down on that now by adding and acquiring these 22 regional sports networks. How will they work? Will they continue to be called Fox? Will Disney or ESPN rename them? That is all up in the air. We haven't been told about that. We'll find out about that in the months ahead as this deal begins to become more finalized. So there's all kinds of things going on here. You've got all kinds of things moving from Fox to Disney, very large amount of money moving from Disney over to Fox. And I close with this. Why is this deal happening? It's a huge deal between two huge major industries. What is the real reason for this? And the number one reason for this is Netflix. Those of you who have watched Netflix for years and years, you know how big it's gotten. Netflix continues to get bigger and bigger. Their viewership continues to grow. Their profit margins continue to grow. Their yearly revenue continues to grow. And they have gotten so big that they are forcing the hand of Disney, but also of Fox. Fox has a hand in this as well. But Disney is really the ones who are having to compete with Netflix for viewers, for audiences, and for money. So Netflix really is the huge key in all this. There are other streaming apps that are having an influence in this as well. But Disney is trying to keep up with Netflix at this point because Netflix has gotten so huge, become such a huge player in the industry. The Netflix presence is what has really brought about this huge deal right here. So it's a huge deal. We haven't answered all the questions. We'll do more of that in time to come, and we'll take a bigger look at the sports side of things as well. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next time on Sports and Money.